And the ones that lived in those cottages were told that they would have free room rent. It was set up for the board and some members that stayed in the cottage. Then when the thing was over, they sent them all bills and they didn't have the thing right. That wasn't fair.
Can this board invite them, or would it have to come from the membership?
The board can, recommend
To
Thursday.
You better find out if, there's any time available. I belong to a number of different groups, and we have to find out the things that are already scheduled in Atlanta for hotel reservations and this sort of thing.
We're gonna have that clinical session about that time, aren't we, in November?
I did,
A&E.
contact Executive Park, which is out, but very easy to get to, and plenty of parking place, and a very lovely place. And they sent me a convention packet, which is real nice, showing the diagram of the rooms available. Of course, this board doesn't have to plan this sort of thing, but I just want to see if maybe if I call somebody at random, if it might be available, because I realize this is late to even plan for a convention. Now this place could accommodate us, but they can only accommodate 300 people.
For
I'm talking about
meetings or for housing?
meetings now. I'm not talking about, because there's lots of motels around there that you could live in.
Isn't that about the number that's been in attendance at the convention in recent years?
I called over the
Registration
state
number.
and I asked her, and the little girl told me about 300. And that she didn't know for sure, but she says, I don't think we've ever had over 300. But this being Atlanta and a lot of people in Atlanta may go to this. I only bring this up as sort of a feeler that maybe something might be available. If we invite them, we really have to get busy right away. But Miss Ditchfield and works with the local committee.
Stone Mountain Inn is a good place to consider too. The only thing is you have to get a sticker to go in and out of Stone Mountain.
It's $2. Gone up, huh?
When is the convention?
There's no date set for it, but Miss Ditchfield made a remark the other day that perhaps we should have it a little earlier than the first week in November. I believe that's when we usually have it. Maybe the last week in October, just, I don't know what the conflict is in the first week in November.
A&E.
It was
Clinical.
Clinical session.
session's
Okay.
coming in November.
We're a little earlier than this year.
And two, when you get facilities, that's why the dates in Rome are changed last year from what was first set with the board. It had to be moved to get the accommodations that we needed at that time.
If you knew the exact date, you might, some of these places might sandwich you in. I know a group that just happened to get into the Marriott last week because those days were just happened to be vacant.
Well,
But usually they are scheduled a year in advance, Marriott and Regency.
our dates may have to be set according to
Yeah,
what
that's
we
what I
can
was-
get
What
to
days
since
in
we're so
October?
late.
I think that'd be a good idea if somebody could find out what days in October they had available, and Miss Ditchfield or the board would
You
set the
see,
convention. at
if
that
we
time.
invite them, then a committee will have to be set up, and the state, Miss Ditchfield and I think Miss Overton work with the local group in this, and this is, but the first step is we're going to invite them or not.
Well, it's been a long time since 50s.
I move that this district, invite, GSNA to have the annual meeting in Atlanta. and that plans be made somewhere how to do it. I don't know. And anyway, let's get to
Move it
convention,
to
they'll make the
convention.
plan. I move that Fifth District invite, GSNA to have the annual meeting in Atlanta in 1969.
Now, we were talking about the extra things that the district does, for the guests that come. Now, that wouldn't preclude the dinners that we have, that each person pays their own, which I heartily approve of. But I do feel that it certainly is a burden on any one district, and I don't want the district that I might be a guest at to have to pay for any of my meals, you know. I think business is business. I think it's wonderful that they wanted to, but I think we've sort of outgrown that little small.
You seconded it, I hear. Been moved and seconded that Fifth District invite the GSNA convention to meet, GSNA annual meeting,
That's what I
annual meeting to meet, here in 1969. Any other discussion of the motion?
Maybe they've had an invitation by now from some other district.
They were pretty desperate when I was over there last.
I saw her at church Sunday, but I didn't.
Who organizes this local arrangements committee? Is this?
The president.
According to the bylaws, and set up in bylaws.
Local arrangements would be a special committee.
Who seconded the
Oh,
motion
yeah,
about the
Fifth
files,
District.
the registry, Fifth District registry? File.
Carol, I believe.
Did you second that one too, Carol?
Well, that's why these things are so important, when those minutes get ready to get going.
All those in favor of inviting the convention, please, the annual meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The next thing that we can take care of in, short order would be, pledges for the building program, GSNA. Several of the districts have pledged an amount per member toward the building that is going on in our state, at our state headquarters. I think most of you know that they voted to build a building behind the present building, which would give them office space and meeting rooms. And if any of you have been over there lately, you know we practically sit on top of each other when you just have the board meeting there. And I've been over there other occasions that we had a bunch crowded in Miss Overton's office, and then there was a bunch out at another different group out at where the big table is, and
one in the kitchen.
and one going on in the kitchen. So, you know, the nursing's on the move, and we do need larger quarters out there. And we do need money to help with this building fund, building program that they have proposed.
Is the building actually going on? I was reading the GSNA, what do you call it? Bulletin.
You got your permit,
Got a
day
little
before
over
yesterday, the
$1,000,
paper.
that won't go very far.
You know,
It had, the building hadn't started.
ours is supposed to be.
They
built.
started for it.
They got the permit. I saw in the paper
That's
day before
good.
yesterday.
They got
For
the permit.
special,
Just
use,
special.
not
Is it an
commercial.
addition on to the building that's already there?
No, it'll be a new building.
Huh?
New building, but
Out in a new location?
No,
Right there.
behind
At
it.
the back of, it'll be joined to that building.
They're gonna do it so that it will be a foundations for an even bigger building later on and utilize as much of the old building as possible.
Later
But some-
years when it goes commercial.
Some of the
see,
members
this
in
is
Fifth
special
District have
use.
already contributed, and I believe they did say they were gonna try to get a list of the ones that contributed back to the district so they know who had already given. and then you get credit for that too.
Do you think that we could pledge for it, for other people, a certain amount for?
That could be a recommendation from this board to the district, and let it come as a district. Seems to me like that, if this board feels.
Committee to raise some money.
One way I can help you out on that is if you won't send something out, is when we get our directory out to, we can include it in that, in the mailing process of that. We plan to have one this year.
How much are other districts giving?
They pledge
Most people give
$10
$10
per member.
But
$10
then-
per member.
But then one district gave a lump sum at the, board meeting, in addition to what their members as individuals are getting.
We need more members, don't we, to run operate our.
We don't know from month to month,
Well,
that's what else that was.
That's what I was thinking.
I believe
We
some of
couldn't-
them are doing projects, aren't they, to raise funds for the building fund. Fifth district being as big as it is, I don't know whether we're very project minded or not.
Would you say ask each member to send in their $10, it would try that first.
Is that a motion?
Maybe if you had a committee appointed that could handle this, and they could work up a little enthusiasm for it.
Need the committees now for convention or for the annual meeting.
I still think the fifth district is the largest district though in the state, and I'd hate to say a little district down here in Timbuktu with about 10 members, that would, all their members would contribute. You had this fifth district sitting up here, great big district, not be able to fund it.
Well, I think from experience with the fifth district, they would rather go on with Ms. Langford said, send out something, information where each one would be expected to give the 10, because we had something else once before, and that's what we did. We've tried projects and talked about projects, and they don't seem to go. So I think I would say each member to give so much. And then you might have to do something to stimulate this.
280 was all we got.
That's right, we asked for $10 for either new member last year to keep going. It was about 280, that we got back.
It would mean a mailing, but, every time I look at Carolyn and say mailing,
Listen, I post every time you go there, it's $50 or $72.
She could include it in that other.
But in the directory, when we mail it out, we can do it, but that won't be till a little bit
And
later.
then hopefully that's something that people,
Appeal
cause I
to
keep
the
it and use it
membership
all the time, it's a
Thursdays,
great deal of help.
And we're gonna have a directory this year if I can possibly do it.
Carol, how expensive would it be, not just to post it in directory and ask for contributions, but to have a little pledge card?
We could get it done in
I
the
think that's what I would do,
Just
have
tear it out of
a
your
pledge card and,
That's right.
or, that they would have to respond, of course, that they would have to have something.
Well, we could easily include it in the directory, anything you wanna do.
that's what they want.
I so move, Ms. Lewis said.
So we brought this little.
I'm gonna be helping the president, she sits up here and tries to pull things out of you all and you don't do it.
I get tired of doing it.
What she was after was for this board to say what to take to the meeting. If you all want to say yes, sponsor it, then take it as a resolution from the board to the meeting that each member, give $10 toward the GS&A building fund. That's what she's after. If that's what you want to do, is what.
When they redid the bylaws, it ended up with, oh, I don't want this on the tape. It ended up that the president conducts a meeting. Period.
You know, we've got a lot of young members along these lines, and I've had an awful hard time getting them to join. It's the first thing we start asking them to give money. Now, remember, I'm with you, I'd like to do it, but I'm just thinking of what I'm gonna get back from them. You know, some of these young ones might even have some ability to raise some funds.
They do, I'm telling you, I'm putting my bets on all these young nurses.
I'm not in favor particularly of sending the letter, 'cause I think we're just as bad as some of our clients.
But
We
at the
don't
pla-
read it and we don't respond. But if you had this group of young people that we're getting in, working on it, maybe it would involve them in some way. I'm not making a motion, I'm just, and I may be out of
I
order.
agree with Merle.
But I'm saying that if we come at them as all of us who are tired, you know, and I don't mean today, but we've done this so often, and it'd be easier to give the $10. But I think our younger group is not gonna see the wisdom of this.
Yeah, when I see other organizations that really don't have anything more important to offer the public than we have as an organization. They get out here and they have all these great big fundraising deals, and first thing you know, they come up in your meeting and they say, we made $1,000 on a chicken barbecue, they won't let you have oat Maryland now though. And, that we made something on a fish fry, we made something on a card party, a lot of
We could
things.
gamble or sell
Yeah, just do anything but make money, but when they come in, they're real enthusiastic,
Bingo
and
card.
everybody's had a part in doing something, and here we say, oh, we so tired. I think this is what's wrong with
It's
the Georgia
us,
State
yeah.
Nurses Association, we all really are tired, but we ought to ask some of these younger nurses to do something, they're not quite as tired, their minds are keen as they can be.
How many of them come to the meetings, Pauline?
Do we have anything to offer when they really?
Yeah, but I mean, how are we gonna reach
Had
these
good
people to do
programs.
this? Because they don't even come to the meetings.
We think they're good programs, I think, because sometimes we are a little bit behind. These girls have learned all this in nursing school, so I'm bored.
Somebody would have to get them organized and started, just like we all do the private duties, let them re-elect again. I guess that's the duty of some leadership, the president maybe.
Up in the 13th district, they have a spaghetti stuff, and they just make a whole heck of a lot of money.
If the vice president helps.
They're not learning
Yeah,
the membership,
president,
they had a
president,
membership in the.
Y'all want to change the motion then, just that we, I don't mind changing the
I think they do,
motion.
but they just don't
I
have
haven't even
enough.
finished writing, and what do you wanna say?
I'd like to go ahead with
They
that.
get that,
and
say, the
start.
same old faces, the same old.
Okay, we're gonna see
I
what
thought
that
they were
was,
getting out.
and maybe
Somebody
move
else
into
is
something
saying
else.
Okay.
I think we need good blood, all right. Doing young ones.
She moved, didn't you?
I'm in favor of this.
Or I didn't get one good look at it. Wonder why they delivered
You
it.
can
You
have
have
it.
one of them, no, but they, I thought we all showed this thing when it's on that name.
Oh, that was good.
I'm not sure I heard a second to the motion.
I'll second
It's been moved and seconded that.
Let's see, that the board
we
recommend
to the
5th District membership at the meeting on March the 13th, that each member contribute $10 to the building program of GSNA. And then they might not pass, and maybe we'll open up the discussion you have, and they might not wanna do the $10, but at least get something off the ground.
I bet it just.
Any more discussion?
No, I just
Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Me too, Ron.
All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no.
And Pauline,
She's one of the young ones.
she's one of the young ones.
The ayes have it.
I already put my pencil up, y'all just making me work so hard, I'm so tired. Poor me.
Now then, if you have energy enough left, we need some, suggestions to be considered by the nominating committee for officers.
That's the carbon of the one sent to the section there. I thought it'd give you them, something to write in. I made that from the photocopier.
Are we,
You're gonna call for
only
them from the floor.
recommending for the, 5th district?
We're doing it for the state and the 5th district. I got you some more of these here. Wait a minute.
That's what I was looking for, and I
No,
couldn't find it.
if it's not with your material, here they are. Now, you see, they don't have a form to put it in, all they've got just this page like that. And I've got the letters of the people who's, in here, or the people whose time expired. It's all about 5 or 6 pages on there.
Don't help us any. We need to know, what officers that
They all here.
need to be filled.
They have the same thing we do, a president, except on directors. They have a president, a second vice president, a treasurer, and 2 directors. Here they are. Here's a letter. Let's see. This is supposed to have the ones whose time.
Shall we start then with the district, the 5th district
Wait a minute, I got
to be elected in September, and the 5th district is president. Do you have any nominations to be submitted to the nominations committee for the office of president?
President incumbent.
The president incumbent is not, able to serve. Is that fine? Thank you.
Well, you're going to consider the ones the section sent in.
Yes.
They're already on the list, or submitted to the nominating committee.
They will be, included, but this is from recommendations from the board. And we're talking about 5th district at the moment.
I'd like down for Mary Kate, C-A-T-E-S.
She's the one that's had the depression.
Are they on the nominations?
What was the lady?
Do you have something to say?
CDC name that was sitting over there?
Her name is
Pemberton.
She's from SREB, I believe.
Hazel, Helen Pemberton.
She's from what?
SREB, she works with, what's her name?
Southern Region.
Who's that girl who's been there for so long?
But she's taking somebody's place on.
She was for Miss Burns, I believe. Mildred Burns.
Mara, didn't y'all have some already from the sections?
We've sent out to the sections, and we've sent out a notice to every member present. If y'all wanna just wait and have it done when we do it Thursday, we'll call for them again at that time.
This is right. It's your prerogative to or not to,
Be thinking about it.
make these nominations at this time. If the board feels that there are people they would particularly like to consider, you can make it at this time, or you can, wait till we ask the, district Thursday.
Well, would you list the ones Thursday that have been submitted by the districts? No?
Well, the only
They'll all
ones,
go to the nominating committee.
the only ones that I have received have been from public health section, and one name, Ms. Bussey. from the sections up until this afternoon from NSA section. 2 or 3 others sent me blank forms back with no note, I don't even know who it was, so I took particular pains on the
Yes.
ones I sent out this time, put on the envelope who it was, so I'd know who it was sending it back with nothing in it, not a thing. Just blank, 3 sets of them. See here, I put administrative on the outside, so I'd at least know, when they did do the courtesy of writing a note, and say we have none, I got back 3 sets
Well,
of blanks.
I don't see how we can hardly nominate, submit a lot of names here this afternoon without hearing from the other sections. We would duplicate them, you may have some.
This is quite all right, this is what the nominating committee wants. Duplication, because they then make up the ballot.
Oh, I thought maybe the time they got them from all 6 sections, that's all they gonna be worried with
Well, I personally don't like this way of electing, I think several of you have said that, but then this is the way it's done.
What else you got to do? How many more you want?
Well, you don't have to do any, is what I'm saying, because I will go through this very same thing Thursday.
Oh, well, I
meeting.
make a motion that we postpone this part of this till Thursday, because going through it again Thursday.
We've always done it, but it'd be
Be more
way to
people
wait
there.
excuse me.
But in the meantime, could I
Be
charge you with the responsibility of talking to people and seeing if they'd be willing to serve on some of these committees? Serve in some of these offices. Remembering that, in the 5th district, there's the president, the 2nd vice president, the treasurer, and 3 directors, chairman of the committee on nominations to be elected in the 5th district, and almost the same thing in the state. Now, what was the difference?
They have 2 directors who's got
2 directors instead of
And Ms.
3.
Garland's the only one on our committee who can't go back as a director, but she
Right.
can go as any other officer on
No,
that.
she can't. Sorry about that.
She's the only one that is not eligible for re-election. I thought I had the one of the states here, but it isn't here. I'll have to bring it to you for Thursday. Or the ones that can't, who is not, and who
I need to take a day off to get things lined up for Thursday.
I don't know if I doubt if I said this. You
You
all can just read into it anything you want to.
No, it can be central.
Can be what?
It can be simple, but we simplified it some.
Yes, you have.
Do we vote on, we have motion, do we need a motion?
Oh, I ought to say postpone till Thursday, Margaret. I'm sorry. Do we have to have a motion for that? We can have a general consensus.
We don't need a
Carry
motion.
that up, see?
Okay, we don't need a motion, just general consensus, that's what you said?
By unanimous consent, we decide to delay any suggestions from the nominating committee until it is brought to the meeting Thursday. Okay, Madam Parliamentarian.
I'd like to point out one thing here before all of you get too, carried away with what you're supposed to be doing. On or before January the 15th, the Committee on Nominations shall request of each organized group the names of members qualified and willing to serve as officers or chairman of the Committee on Nominations. Accompanying the request shall be a list of officers whose terms expire the next annual meeting. Now, that has been done.
That has been done.
All right, now, on or before April the 1st of the same year, the organized group shall submit to the Committee on Nominations, which are your sections, or the board, or whoever wants to do, names of members for consideration in developing the ticket. Such list shall be signed by the chairman, a secretary. Now, here's where we're coming in along with the state. And of course, you have had part of this before too. But you have to have this biographical sketch, and you have to have the platform of philosophy. So all of this has to be done by April the 1st. So there's no point in sitting here too much just calling out names until you know that they're going to serve. You see?
Well, I think after we get these names, haven't you sent to these people?
Yes, they don't have listen, of the list that I got in, it was not on the form at all to go to the state. None of the addresses or nothing. What happens is, you've got to look them all up, find the sections and so forth, not only from the state, from the district. It's at least a 4-day job, 2 days particular on the state ones, because you don't have access to it, to get them together, and then you send them on out. Now, heretofore, the state had a form to go out with it, and requesting their philosophy. And we had them sent back to the district rather than the nominating committees, and then the secretary signed it and was sent to the
Yeah,
nominating
now,
chairman.
but do you see, if these sections that are sending in these nominations, if you're making the nomination, then you have received consent of that person to serve if they are nominated. And then that cuts down all of this work. You
Well,
see,
we've
we were
already
trying to
asked them.
simplify. Who will consent? That's what I said, you've done this
That's why I
part.
added to your card that they have to be members too, and I said yes and they, because then naturally it would take him to his district too.
And then by May the 1st, the nominating committee meets, you see, and makes up the ticket, because that ticket has to be presented to the board at the May meeting.
Well, the trouble with the sections doing that, we have no list of the members, current members. We didn't have a list of the ones whose terms expired in these offices.
Well, you were told,
And we got that after.
GSNA was supposed to
afterwards.
send you that list,
Yeah.
it was
Well,
5 or 6 pages, did you ever get it?
Yes, I got it after the meeting, but it's pretty bad to have all that, in the sections. I think that, there should be a better way, because we have no list of membership. And now, a lot of those that were there consented, you know, and we sent that list in. But some that were not there, now she had no way of finding out except to send the list to you.
Let me tell you what the state has.
And you would
what
have to
I have.
check to see if they were members of the district.
When a membership report comes in, there's not a single typed list bearing any names whatsoever. There are 3 bundles of little cards in there. Cards, that's all. Hereafter, they're going to revise that up in A&A. You couldn't possibly be dribbling back and forth on your addressograph until you got through and settled for this reason. When I get ready to send out your section notices, I can't remember of the addressograph on that. You know, we just have to wait until we get through.
Well,
They're going to work
when we
on
get
it.
that card file that is in the making, we could have that where we are.
Well, since I
to-
send out your cards on that, and after the membership is over with, and they send us a list of those who have not renewed, and I'll go through those and give you a section, and every section was offered one last year. To have the cards, 3x5 cards, you know, Miss Langford, we've always given you cards. There's
The
never been a
secretary
year
was
we haven't had
supposed to
cards.
get, with those that were nominated and see if they would serve, that were not there at the meeting. But, most of them, you all know that we tried to get their
Can't do it
consent
too.
at the
On this
meeting.
installment plan, 153 of these people have paid first installment. 90 didn't come along and pay it on the second installment and then you see that expired
They
March
just lost their
31st.
membership.
So, that's why I'm not even attempting to see whether or not they're gonna pay at least a second one on that. It's very difficult right now.
Well, don't we consider at this time, the ones we had as our members last year is the ones that, how long is their membership good?
It's expired at February the 15th this year.
February the
Used to
15th,
be
well, that's
March
right.
31st.
If you have a card where you paid your dues for the whole year, it tells you exactly, it's expired December 1969.
Right.
And the ones that pay part-time, it says it expires at the end of that first 3 months, or whatever it is.
But sending out notices for your meetings and so forth, all you have at the time is the ones that were members last year.
Well, yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We haven't pulled the addresses on them yet. We were waiting for A&A to give us a list of those to take off.
But back to Mrs. Hanson's question, you know from your bylaws which offices that you're working for to be elected each year. The odd years is first vice president.
They were
and,
notified in January which offices were, and said as soon as the list came in, it was sent in that date was to be set.
Well,
Kinda bad.
we can't really settle, I guess, how we'd like, these nominations to be and how the ballots to be made up, but, we'll try to comply with the bylaws as they are. And maybe one of these days we will not have sections and that we will have members of GSNA and members of 5th District. But right now, we still have the sections, and, I'm sure the nominating committee will consider the names that are suggested to them.
Well, may I ask one question, from the parliamentarian, was our letter in compliance with the bylaws?
Yeah.
Included everything that we should have?
This is it. You put elected and consent to serve. Of course, they should send back these sketches.
And it was dated January 29th.
Right.
So this isn't something that's just happened this last month, it was sprung on anybody. I mean, we've had, since at least the last day of January to know about it.
And this section bit comes back from GSNA down to the districts because the sections have to be represented.
I understand that.
And that's the reason it had to be done that way.
I understand the bylaw. My point was that we didn't have the information that we needed to do it, and unless, well, we took up the whole, session, with all of that. Then we didn't get the committees that they asked for recommendations for committees, and that was just when we stopped.
Well, we got from now to
But now,
then
Ms. Ambrose,
this
the
year,
secretary, was supposed to contact these that were not there, that were nominated, to get their consent. We do not have the biographical sketch forms, and, so, or we might have cut down the amount of work for the secretary.
Oh, usually in the state, the nominating committee or the executive secretary, somebody sends out these biographical sketches to the people. I believe it's the secretaries over there from the state.
We've been doing it up until now, I've always been doing it, it's all been, your list have been turned in, we've made a complete list of them and, verified them and sent them to them with a return envelope on it.
It's a lot of work.
Well, isn't everything a lot of work? Anything you do is a lot of work.
Is there any other business that you'd like to bring up? There's an announcement I'd like to make. I have a communication from the Public Relations Department regarding the extension of deadline for lower registration fee for ICN Congress, which is in Montreal this year. Please read the following notice to your members at the next meeting, or alert them to its contents. The lower registration fee deadline for the Congress of International Council of Nurses in Montreal, June 22nd, 28th, has been extended to March the 30th. ANA members can still register prior to that deadline for $40. After that deadline, the registration fee is $60. And I bring that for information. All of you I know are going to the ICN this year.
I hope y'all have a good time.
Is there any other business?
I think it'd be nice if you could
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
we adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. I ain't going to the minute, madam.
She done